Welcome back to my Ansible tutorial series. In this video, we're going to talk about configuring Ansible a little bit and then using Ansible to install a package on an Ubuntu machine. I'm going to assume that you already have an Ubuntu test VM set up. I'm not going to talk about how to do that because that's outside of the scope of this video. Also going to assume that you have an SSH key from your local machine onto the root user of that Ubuntu VM. That's necessary so that Ansible can log into the machine and run whatever it needs to run. So let's jump into configuring Ansible. First, we're going to make a file called ansible.cfg in our local directory. We're going to add a defaults group, and we're going to set inventory to the hosts file in our current directory. By default, Ansible will use the host file in /etc/ansible/hosts. That is system-wide though, so for testing, it's good to have a hosts file in your current directory and just modify that. Next, we are going to create a hosts file. So this hosts file is going to define what our machines are. So I have a VM that I'm going to call Jadur, and its IP address is 192.168.122.98. And also we're going to configure what host or what SSH user Ansible is going to use. So we're going to say Ansible SSH user is root, so it knows to log in as root. So now Ansible knows what our host is and how to log in and where it is. So we're going to make a install file. You can call this file whatever you want. I'm just going to call it install.yaml. It's also important to note here that Ansible uses YAML as its language. It's convention at the beginning of a YAML file, you put 3 dashes to indicate this is a YAML file, and then you can write your YAML. So in YAML, a quick introduction is anything that starts with a dash is a part of a list, and if it does not, it is a relational list. So for example, if I have there are you, we have created a list, and list item 0 is hi, list item 1 is there, and so forth. But if we were to specify something as foo bar, now we have a relational list. The key is foo and the value is bar. So Ansible is set up as such. You have your first item is going to be a list item, and it's going to be hosts, and you're going to define what host you are acting on. So in my case, it's Jadur, because that's what I named my host. And then we're going to give this host a list of tasks. So we do tasks, and then each item in tasks is a list. And each task has to have a name, so we'll call this install. Let's install Apache. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about what Ansible modules are. An Ansible module is a piece of Ansible that provides a certain functionality. So for example, the apt module gives you the functionality of managing packages using apt. The zipper module will give you the functionality of managing packages using zipper. And the file module will give you the functionality of managing files. In this case, we're going to use the apt module because we are going to install Apache using apt. And the apt module takes a few parameters. So first we need to specify what is the name of the package. On Ubuntu, Apache is Apache2. And then what is the state? State is going to be present. Now we have this, we have defined, we have a host, we have a list of tasks. We only have one item in that list, but that item is to install Apache. So now we can run Ansible playbook and then the YAML file. And we will see it run. It gathers some facts. This is so that Ansible just gets some metadata so that you can use that in your playbook. We're not doing that currently, but we could have. And now it's installing Apache. It's going to take a few seconds probably because Apache is a somewhat large package. So now, if I curl 192.168.122.98, we see that we have a web server running there, and we can grab that web page and display it in our terminal. That means Apache 2 installed correctly. Now, let's say we want to uninstall Apache 2. We want to make sure Apache 2 is not present on the system. We can edit that same file, and I'm just going to change this from install Apache to uninstall Apache, and I'm going to change the state to absent. And when I run my playbook again, it'll gather our facts, and then it'll run the uninstall Apache task. And now it's uninstalled Apache, and you can see that it changed a thing. Cool. And now if I try run that same curl, it can't bind to that port because, or it can't connect to the port because there's nothing running there. Another important thing to note is you can see here that it says in the uninstall Apache task, it changed the Jadur host. What if we were to run this uninstall again? We'll see that it says that Jadur was okay. It doesn't say changed anymore because it didn't have to do anything to uninstall Apache. Apache was already uninstalled. So that's the basic of Ansibles. That's sort of the bread and butter is you have a host or you have a list of hosts and you apply some tasks to it. This is the most important part of Ansible, sort of the basics. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we will cover some more in-depth about what you can do with Ansible. Please join me next time.